All right, y'all, welcome back to the channel. And the first thing we want to do is we want to send you on over to our website. We have several brand new t-shirt designs that are really cool, but two that are really cool that kind of pertain a little bit to this video is one, we are the CO2, and the second t-shirt is Go Green, Compost the Globalist, and that's a hat tip to my good friend David the Good, who inspired that t-shirt, and another subscriber. Yeah. So go over to our website, check out those t-shirts if any of them interest you. Join the cause. And today we want to talk about react to another video. We've been a little bit around the world. We've been to Australia, we've been to the Netherlands, we visited with
India,
Vandana Shiva in India, and Vandana Shiva in India, and now we want to do a local piece of news that's from Lancaster, Pennsylvania. And let's start the clip here. So now we've been around the globe. Now we're going to see how it's currently impacting us locally, and let's check out this clip.
I'm Jeremy Lafredo for Rebel News in Birmingham, Pennsylvania. It's here, in this old Amish community where armed federal agents recently raided Miller's organic meat and dairy farm. The government is arguing that the farm isn't adhering to federal regulatory requirements concerning food, while the farm argues that this is just the latest attack on independent farmers giving their communities healthy food. If you believe the federal government has no place in telling the Amish how they can prepare their healthy, nutritious food for their communities, then go to leavethemalone.com and defend the Amish. Sign our petition.
I believe the federal government has no place in bothering anybody about anything. Certainly not about how growing their food, administering their food. This is an attack on our infrastructure and on our supply chain. And here you have somebody that's using organic practices in a proper fashion, and because of the fact that they are being a good example and showing you how to do it without the chemicals, without the fertilizers,
without gasoline and diesel,
without all of it. Yeah, this is the farmer is Amish Miller in Birmingham, Pennsylvania. That's very close there to Lancaster, and if anything, this guy should be a farming hero. Especially in the light of this go green economy. These Amish folks are not using any gasoline. Nope. They're not using any chemical fertilizers. So they are literally the epitome of what should be being promoted as how to grow food.
The Miller Organic Farm in Birmingham, Pennsylvania, a remote Amish village, has been around for almost 30 years. The farm supplies everything from grass-fed beef and cheese to raw milk and organic eggs to dairy from grass-fed on-site water buffalo and all types of produce to roughly 4,000 private food club members who pay top dollar for high-quality whole food. The private food club members cherish their ability to get food from an independent farmer who isn't processing his meat and dairy.
So these folks have a private buying club of 4,000 members that are local there. That's and crazy. They've been participating in this private buying club, and now the feds want to come in and completely jam up the works. And we all know that this has everything to do with big lobby, big ag, and they just want to shut down someone that is properly demonstrating how to do this properly.
His meat and dairy at United States Department of Agriculture facilities, which mandates food be prepared in ways that Miller believes make it less nutritious. Miller contends that he's preparing food the way God intended. The US government doesn't see it that way. They recently sent armed federal agents to the farm and demanded he cease operations. The government is also looking for more than $300,000 in fines, a request so steep it would put the farm out of business. This is an attack on Amish religious freedoms just 150 miles outside of Washington, D.C. It also speaks to the gross corruption at the USDA. As is available on the USDA's site, the agency is funded mostly by the federal government, but it also receives hundreds of millions of dollars from the agricultural industry. Companies like Bayer, Syngenta, and Cargill stand to lose millions, even billions of dollars.
Just like all of our regulatory agencies, they're all just like Big Pharma is backed by all the pharmaceutical companies, Big Ag is backed by all the big fertilizer companies, and we talked a lot. Vandana Shiva talked about the fertilizer companies in our last video, and here we see them rearing their ugly head again. And the fertilizer companies don't like this guy because he does not fertilize with chemical fertilizers. The fertilizer companies absolutely hate organic farms because they don't use the chemical fertilizers. The chemical fertilizers are also in very short supply. So
Crazy expensive.
organic farmers are not affected by
not at all.
this shortage in the supply chain, nor are they affected by the incredibly rising costs of chemical fertilizers. So all the more reason to persecute this guy.
Yeah.
Rebel News, the only thing I don't like about the angle, they're coming at this from a religious angle. I do want to encourage all of you to go over there and sign the petition. We'll leave the link down below to leave Amos Miller alone, leave this farm alone, let them be profitable, let them do what they've been doing for 30 years and keep on doing it. And so please go over and sign the petition. But this is just, they just want to make an example of this farmer who treats his animals kindly. You can see the way that these cows are mob grazing in these lush pastures.
Beautiful.
This isn't some kind of nasty, dank, CAFO, some kind of diarrhea cow slop yard that's all on concrete and nasty.
Disgusting.
I mean, these cows look beautiful. They're in a very beautiful environment. They're handled the way that they were designed and intended to be handled. And they're producing all these healthy products, healthy meat, healthy cheese, healthy raw dairy.
Yeah, and it's humane too, you know.
And it's done humanely, it's done decently and in order. There's 4,000 customers that are participating and enjoying these products, and now the feds want to come in and just say, hey, we just want to put all you farmers on notice, like this is what's up, and this is the new way it's going to be. No different than these 87,000 new IRS agents. So if you haven't been harassed by the IRS in your life, well, just buckle your seatbelt and get ready, because I mean, unless you're some type of W-2 worker drone B and you have no deductions or whatever, and I'm not knocking on anybody that just clocks into a 9-to-5 and has a W-2 and doesn't have any deductions. I don't recommend that. I think you should take advantage, just like the District of Criminals. I mean, they put all the loopholes in there because that's why they do it, is because they don't pay any taxes, and I think it's foolish to pay more taxes than you should. We're not tax protesters, by the way. I'm not knocking anybody that's just a 9-to-5er, but the IRS is being weaponized. 87,000 more agents with an additional 80 billion added to their budget, and somehow this is supposed to stop inflation. This is the Inflation Protection Act or whatever. But it's the same thing. They're going to weaponize. They're weaponizing the FDA. They're weaponizing the IRS. They're weaponizing the the FDA, and all these different government agencies, and they all literally carry weapons, and they're just here to fleece the public, to tax us. This guy, they're going to literally penalize him out of business. Oh, well, you just have to pay $300,000 in fines. Oh, it just so happens that makes you go bankrupt. Well, we're so sorry. Meanwhile, these big companies like Johnson & Johnson that give people cancer, and Monsanto, they just have to pay these big, gigantic fines. But basically, it's kind of like a bribe. Like, okay, you can make $1 trillion in profit, but you're going to have to pay a couple $100 million in fines, or you're going to have to pay this awarded judgment over here in this class action lawsuit, and you're going to have to pay $100 million. Well, they made $1 trillion.
Yeah, exactly.
And guess what? At the same time, we can demonize capitalism and blame it on greed.
Yep.
When it's so much larger than that, so much bigger than that. And in a truly free market capitalist system and society, that's what enables all the farmers to interact with their customers, and it creates competitive advantage and a competition that helps keep the prices in check, rather than vice versa, which is why all these large multinational companies want to squash all the little people so they're the only dog in town, so that there is no competition. That is literally the opposite of capitalism.
Yep.
And I know that the fascists and the socialists and the propaganda camps like the government schools and the colleges and universities have done an excellent job at brainwashing people and demonizing capitalism and glorifying communism. And everybody, we get all these comments about this is what capitalism does. Well, there's what's the alternative to capitalism? Well, fascism, communism, socialism, okay? That doesn't work. Socialism and communism only work when you kill a couple 20 or 30 million people. You know, think Gulag Archipelago, think, the Khmer Rouge, the Pol Pot, whatever. Okay, that's how socialism and communism work. And guess what? There is no capitalism there, right? And this new hybrid China, quasi-communist capitalism is a bunch of junk as well. So, but that's not a pure, true capitalist market. But anyway, we just wanted to go over this brief video that talks about the same exact nonsense that's going on around the world is coming here, and that's what's incredible about this entire Agenda 2030 and the World Economic Forum and the Great Reset and put your tabletop exercise, insert it here, Club of Rome, and all these different agendas that have been continually all moving with the same momentum, going in the same direction to the same common goal is eliminate the human beings. We are the CO2. Eliminate the human beings and accumulate their wealth. We can no longer extract wealth from these synthetic monetary markets like the housing and the mortgage-backed securities and all these different synthetic derivatives that are in the economy, because the only way we can have a digital currency is if we collapse all these fiat synthetic markets, right? And so we're gonna collapse them and create the scare, and then we're gonna have a central bank digital currency, which is going to be like our Fed coin. This way we can control absolutely everything about you. You can have absolutely zero autonomy. You can go nowhere. You can buy nothing unless your wallet's turned on. And you will only turn your wallet on as if you've been a good little citizen. And you are a global citizen, and you listen to all these wackadoos talk about all this, and they use all these code words, and they use sustainability and all this stuff. And I recommend it all the time. You got to go check out the NASA guy, Dennis Bushnell. And if you listen to Dennis Bushnell's speeches, he'll even tell you, oh, sustainability is a code word for this. And he'll tell you about all their code words that they use. It's all this newspeak. It's INGSOC. It's 1984. And they create all these words that sound real good like sustainability. But really what they are is it's all about squeezing you down and you having nothing and you being happy. And that's what all this control is about. And now they're kicking this guy's teeth in. He's been working 30 years. He's developed a solid client base of 4,000 happy customers. And now the feds are going to come in with weapons, right? This guy's a Amish farmer. These people are pacifists. This guy doesn't have a gun. And they're going to roll in there with guns and harass this guy.
Millions of dollars worth of market share if more American farmers opted for holistic farming practices like Miller's Farm instead of chemical-heavy, technology-heavy, industry-friendly practices. Making it even more independent, Miller's Farm doesn't use any gasoline or fertilizer, and therefore the war between Ukraine and Russia isn't affecting his bottom line. He's not dependent, and he's providing healthy food to his community the way he believes God intended, and the government is trying to intimidate and shut it down.
Rebel News will be here in Amish country at the end of the week when the farm explains to the community their next move in their fight against the federal government. For Rebel News, I'm Jeremy Lafredo.
So go to leavethemalone.com and voice your opinion and let them know. Do these things help? They help in a way. I mean, we're not going to petition our way. So what do you do? That's what everybody always asks.
What do you do?
So what do you do? What do you do? And they say, but without chemical fertilizers, how are we going to feed the world? And what they do is they create the crisis. They make it so large and so big that you're just frozen and petrified with fear. What did we do? Well, what we did is 8 years ago, we gathered up all our stuff like the Beverly Hillbillies.
Literally.
And we packed it all in a truck and we got out of Dodge, right? And we moved from the Northeast, we strategically relocated to Texas, and then we found a little piece of dirt in absolutely the middle of nowhere.
The middle of
right?
nowhere.
And then we started our little deal. We had never grown anything ever in our lives, ever. And we got all different kind of critters, and we started practicing raising critters, and we got all different kinds of fruit trees, and in the last 6 years, we planted about 400 fruit trees. We started practicing propagating fruit trees. We started practicing grafting and propagation and all these different things, learning how to, we started permaculture principles. We dug swales. We've been using mulch and building up our clay soil. We now have decently good soil.
Yep.
We're amending our soil with our different chickens and Muscovy ducks, and we've had pigs. We've had cows here. We have a horse here. We've had lots of critters, lots of animals. We're working together with our animals, with nature, with the plants. We don't use any pesticides. We try to use all organic practices with our tree treatments and with our animals. So we did that. We started 6 years ago. About 4 years ago, we bought a 25-acre ranch, and then we bought some cows, and we have about 13 Longhorn. We have about 3 Angus there, and we're growing our own beef. We're growing our own duck. We're growing our own chicken. We have farm fresh eggs, and that's what we did. And the other thing that we wanted to do, just as almost like a natural process of that, is the boys wanted to start this channel to share it with everybody else, to say, hey, look, this is what you can do.
Totally possible.
And it's all about empowering people to say, hey, look, you can do this. You can do it too. So what do we do? What do we do? If you want to sign the petition, sign the petition. If you want to paint a protest sign and go there and wave a protest sign,
you can.
It's fruitless, but if you want to do that, do it.
Yeah.
But what you need to do is you need to be the solution.
Yeah, stop buying the $9 a pound ground beef at the grocery store that's absolutely trash garbage, and go support an actual local farmer.
Seek out a local farmer. Now here, they're very prolific and they're everywhere. But they're probably more prolific in your area than you know, and you've never sought out to buy directly from a farmer. But you're going to get a much better product. You're going to know where it came from. You're going to know who it came from. You can go and visit and see how these animals were treated. And you will be in the know. And that's how you take control of your life. And when the entire planet seems like it's out of control and 5 people run the whole entire thing, the way you take control is you do just a little bit every day. We bought the ranch 4 years ago. We just bought some more dirt a couple weeks ago, and we continue to study, practice, and teach. Study, practice, and teach. And the only way you know that you know something is the way in which you can explain it to somebody else. And the only way that you can properly explain it to somebody else is to have done it. This is why our educational system is completely broken. But we just wanted to encourage you today. Obviously, all these warnings of everything that's going on all around the globe is absolutely going on right here too. Our government is completely co-opted. The governments of the world are all completely co-opted. It's this one gigantic amalgamation of what is quote unquote the UN, and all the little idiosyncrasies you see about Russia and China, and they're bad, and they want this and they want that. Well, behind the scenes, they're all working together in Saudi Arabia to build an intergalactic digital utopia. You know what I mean? So they're only adversaries when it's convenient. It doesn't mean that different characters don't want to jockey to the pole position, but relatively speaking, they all scratch each other's back and wash each other's hands, and they all stuff each other's pockets, and they're all in on it. And politics, especially American politics, but global politics, just like the politics in the Ukraine, is nothing more than a puppet show.
It is.
It's a really bad WWE in real life. And that these people are just pawns and they're puppets, and it's a it's a uniparty. In America, the left and right is an absolute uniparty, and one smells a little bit better and says more of the right things, but they both really stink, okay? And there are no options. We're not gonna vote our way out of this.
Nope.
So that's why Bill Mollison said permaculture is sedition. So how do you secede, right? How do we perform our sedition? We, instead of going to the store, we make our own food, and we do it. And do we make all of our food?
No.
And we get these comments, why are farmers buying potatoes? Well, there's a lot of us. We like to eat. We eat a lot. Okay, it happens. We're not there yet. We haven't arrived. We're not 98% efficient.
No.
We're not 48% self-sufficient. All right. We will probably never be more than 60% self-sufficient. We want to grow and build our community. The other thing you need to do is you need to reach out to your neighbors. You need to build a community. You need to be in an area where you are going to want to build a community with people that you're going to want to be in a community with. All right. And that's not downtown Houston. All right.
Nope.
It's just not.
No,
It's not near any of these Babylonian megatropolises. It's not in any of these concrete jungles. It's not in any of these flashpoints. It's not in any of the gulags, you know. They want you in the concrete jungle so they can stack you high and deep so they can control you. You're in a completely and totally synthetic environment, right? And everything is completely out of your control. And if the garbage man doesn't come and get your garbage, you're going to sit in garbage. And if all the different peoples and all the different services don't come, you are absolutely at the behest of all these synthetic infrastructures and systems, and you are completely out of control. And that's why many of the city slickers, as we call them, they rage and they rail against this because it is diametrically opposed to their entire essence and way of life and being, and even they can't even consider to think about life differently because it's literally the exact opposite of their entire life. And oh well, I moved to the city for the nightlife, and it's cool, and the city never sleeps, and there's always something to do, and there's always these cool places and restaurants to go to. Well, there is. There is when there's prosperity.
Yeah.
There is when there isn't hyperinflation. There is all those things when the supply chains are good. But guess what? All of that stuff ceases to be in irregularity when all the control and the manipulation and just the gross, drunk, blind printing of money finally catches up and the chickens come home to roost. And so that's where we are right now. We get all these other weird comments of like, what's all these doom and gloom? There's plenty of food everywhere and all this stuff. And I just don't know where these people are. For all I know, I mean, there's tons of gov bots.
Yeah.
You know, so there could be the gov bots, and then there could just be ignorant, weird people that are just, you know, talking out of their back pocket or whatever. But we just wanted to jump on here real quick, comment. You got anything else, Matt, you want to?
No, that's pretty much it.
That's pretty much it. All right, y'all. So hope you enjoyed this video. Like, share, subscribe, share with your friends. This is just one format of one type of video that we do on this channel. We do lots of different things on these channels. My philosophy is we'll put everything out there. People can like the stuff that they like. Don't watch the stuff that you don't like. It's real easy. Like, you're not forced to watch every single video. I don't watch all of our videos, all right? I'm not gonna watch a grocery haul, all right? I'm just not gonna do it. When they're recording the grocery haul, I'm like, people watch this stuff? What in the world? But, you know, for the people that love it, they can love that.
Exactly.
For the people that like these kind of videos, they can, you know, you can like it. And watch the stuff you like. Don't watch the stuff that you don't like.
Exactly.
This is not programming, y'all. This is not the Black Mirror, right? You have control.
Yep.
You can choose. If you like it, watch it. Share it. If you think it's beneficial, share it. Like, share, subscribe. Tell your friends and family. This is Texas Dad coming at you from the Texas Boys, and we'll see you on the next video.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Bye.